Okay, quick video. How were we left with a net 15% increase on car export tariffs to China in December since July? July, China reduced tariffs on U.S. cars to 15%. It was at 25%. A couple of days later, Trump added U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods. I guess the GOP must have loved that, punished them. So China then jacked it up 25% and ended up giving us a 40% tax rate. Or, excuse me, tariff, which means he made it worse. All he had to do was shut his damn mouth. No, he had to do something else. 8 p.m. on the 2nd of the month, he tweeted, China has agreed to reduce or remove its tariffs on cars coming into China from the U.S. Currently, the tariff is at 40%. Yeah, because you broke it and agreed to reduce or remove. Okay. Anyway, 6:30 a.m., 6:55 a.m., and 7:03 a.m. on the 4th of the month, after everything had been shut down for the stock exchange or something for a while, he called himself Tariff Man, and he tweets, the negotiations with China have started, okay? Unless extended, they will end 90 days from the date of our wonderful and very warm dinner with the president, etc., ad nauseum, on seeing whether or not a real deal with China is actually possible. You're the one who annoyed them into jacking up the rates, and now you're trying to... What are you, corporate? You break stuff and then you try to act like you fixed it? If it is, we will get it done. China is supposed to start buying agriculture product and more immediately, but you jacked up tariffs and they jacked them up. That's how tariff wars work. You're not a tariff warrior. President, yada yada, I want this deal to happen, and it probably will. But you said you already had an agreement a couple of days before. You whiplashed the stock market. But if not, remember, I'm Tariff Man. No, you're a terrible businessman. Why would this man not understand that you don't show your hand, and more importantly, don't do it on a weekend? When people or countries come into a radar great wealth, they're not. We're trying to sell them something, and they're basically saying, screw you. They're not doing anything like that. I want them to pay for a privilege of doing so. You also want Mexico to pay for a wall that they're not going to pay for. How's that working out for you? So anyway, let's look at this. On the 30th of last month, at about 3:50 p.m., the stocks were, or the Standard & Poor I'm looking at, was here. After this announcement simmered over the weekend, or whatever, on the 3rd of the month at 9:30 a.m., this is what it did. And then it started doing the bouncy. That's on the 3rd. This is on 3:55 p.m. By the end of the day, it was up like that. It shot up and it got stabilized. Then he made a stupid announcement confirming that he was a dumbass. And by the 4th, the next day at 9:30, this is what it did. It immediately dropped this much, which means it was below most of this action. It went down to this. A couple hours later, any gain was lost by the end of the day, or no, actually by noon. Within a 3-hour period of time, any gain from that was lost. If he'd shut his mouth, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Now, I'm not really blaming him for this. Now, right now, we're down, way down here, below where we started. He should have kept his mouth shut until he had a freaking deal, a solid one. He flinched. Next, I'd like to point out, if you want to look at these stock market things and look at what they were like last year, and look at the long term for the entire year, this may not be even significant. I'm only annoyed by one thing. You're supposed to be a strategist, and you told everybody in the world something that wasn't true. You tried to literally bluff China and bluff America. And this is basically what happened after everybody figured out at around about noon that he was full of shit. Okay? His bluff was called. That didn't do anybody any good. Don't do that. If you're a leader of the free world, don't be a dumbass. We don't need that. Now, again, I don't know if he really caused this, but I'm not finding anything that shows it didn't happen. It is too coincidental. But again, something else might have happened over the weekend that they show as a little tiny blip in this graph that's a really big spike. It might have. But the only thing that happened after that day of heady activity was him admitting that he basically bullshitted everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.